everybody. Happy Sunday. Big inspiration on a video that I've been kind of molding in my brain that I want to share with you guys in hopes that it can help you throughout your life and day. 7 extremely powerful tools that can help you transform your life today and just get your goals into manifestation already. Get your dreams into reality already. Let's just go right into it. Number 1, I started doing this 5 years ago, just about, when I wanted to make all my healthy changes, get over my addictive habits, bring my dreams into reality, or a sense of purpose first, because I didn't have that quite yet. But 1, meditation. Probably one of the oldest health techniques on the planet for clearing our mind, starting our brain in a fresh tone every single day or multiple times throughout the day. It helps us really be better creators of our reality. It helps us be non-reactors to stuff that used to dominate our brains. It helps us allow what will actually serve us in our minds and hearts to come through, and it allows us to kind of weed out all the weeds that really don't serve us, that start in our brain. It's a practice. It takes consistency. It's like an exercise I've learned along my journey. It's very powerful. I have a video on YouTube about how to meditate. You could watch that one as well, or look at some other people's perspectives. But basically, how to, quick way, get right into it. Start every morning with a small goal of maybe 1 to 5 minutes if you're new at it, because it can be hard to do in the beginning, and don't let that stop you from doing it, or don't let that stop you from getting into a good habit, because with practice and intention, you're able to meditate longer and get more out of it, and get more benefits from it. Benefits that can leak into your next few hours of your day, multiple hours, and into your entire day. So it's pretty good stuff, and it's worth doing. It can help you feel a lot better, right? If you want to simplify the power of meditation, we are trying to accumulate money in our lives to buy stuff, to acquire some kind of feeling of fulfillment, of happiness, of gratitude, whatever. But we can actually start our days with those feelings first. We kind of have it backwards in this society, in this day and age, especially in America. We're constantly externalizing our happiness, externalizing these hits of dopamine in our brain through eating, through addictions, through what have you. But we don't have to do that. We can start feeling good now, in the morning. So some great ways to enhance your meditation practice are, think about your short and long-term goals and what you're trying to work on, whether it is buy a house, whether it is quit smoking, whether it is make better eating habits. Write a little affirmation card saying that you are going to act in alignment with that goal. Let's just say, I act in alignment with the long-term benefits instead of the short-term benefits. It's one of my favorite simplified ones because it kind of cuts across multiple goals. It says that I'm going to be planting seeds of investment throughout my days, not kind of just tackle short-term highs, and that could translate out to a lot of things. Am I going to be a better communicator to my boss, even though it's uncomfortable in the short term, but it'll make our relationship better in the long term? Am I going to not stop at that fast food joint just because it's a good short-term satiation, but it's going to spend money in the long term, and I know I could get a healthier meal if I go home and make a little bit of investment of time and energy into cooking. So basically, in a lot of my videos and writings, you're going to hear me talk about long-term versus short-term, and how we can pretty much diagram a lot of our patterns of thinking and habits out to those, and we can nip those in the bud in the first place by starting our day with a healthy meditation practice, because our thoughts oftentimes shape our actions, which really determine all of our patterns and our circumstances in life. So we can again go better to being better creators of our own reality and living life on our terms by starting it in the realm of the mind each and every morning, and even at night. Once you get in the habit of it, it's good to do this in the morning and the night. I say reach out to a goal of doing 20 to 30 minutes in the morning and 20 to 30 minutes in the night to kind of start your day with intention, start your day with gratitude. Gratitude list is a great thing to add to your affirmation cards or your statement letters, or some form of a statement card that you have at the end of your meditation. I'll make more videos on that in the future, but it's very powerful in helping you manifest into your goals. It kind of keeps that intention in the back of your mind throughout your day, so it makes you a better actor in creating that reality in the first place. So, meditation, YouTube Google the benefits, YouTube some how-tos, or check out mine. I'm going to move right on, try to keep this as short and sweet as possible. 7 tools that can help you transform your life today. Number 2, exercise. Now, getting into physical movement is powerful. It's healthy. It gets blood circulation going throughout our body, carrying nutrients and oxygen to parts that don't normally get it that should. There's tons of benefits to exercise. I don't really need to list them all here because science and alternative health already document the effects of it. And in my own life, 4 or 5 years ago, exercise has been a key habit, just like meditation, that I've maintained in my regimen to keep that long-term sense of feel-good going. It's another investment-minded sort of feel-good that we're kind of cultivating. We're not going to feel immensely better overnight, but give it 6 months and you're going to feel amazing. You're going to feel like a new you. So it takes consistency, just like the meditation. Start with 3 full-body exercises a week. Start with some yoga every day, some free yoga videos on YouTube. Basically getting your metabolism going, cycling in and out your energy stores throughout your muscles in the forms of glycogen. It's almost like fasting, has similar benefits of fasting in the way that it can reset your insulin sensitivity levels, which is very, very powerful. It is, again, I'm not going to carry on too far with the health benefits because they're there all over the internet. So get into it, find something that's fun to you, that's very important to make sure it's long lasting. Something that's fun and that's not too intense. You don't want to go balls deep into a 6-day-a-week workout regimen or exercise regimen. When you're new at this, you want to make this slow and steady, and you don't want your workout regimen to dominate other aspects of your life. For instance, your meditation. You don't want to be too sore from exercising to where you're not going to be feeling happy and healthy. On your days when you're recovering, you want your progress to be steady and continuous. So start something small. Start with like 3 good full body exercises a week, a little bit of cardio, some yoga, and you'll be good. We're moving on to number 3, which is diet. Pairing excellently with meditation and exercise. We are made up of what we eat. It's totally, totally true. Don't care what anybody says. I've experienced this in my own journey. Of course, there's thousands of articles with conflicting information, nutritional information on how we should go about eating, what's the healthiest diet, etc. For me, plant-based is the only way to go. It's what sacred plant medicine like mushrooms and ayahuasca have taught me. If I'm going to be a better creator of my own reality, I have to understand the laws of the universe a little bit better, which I'll be going to talk about this. It's going to be like number 6 on our card, One-ness. Everything is connected. God is all one. We are all one. God is just energy vibrating at different frequencies. Physicists around the globe have already proven this. Modern science has already proven this. They just don't talk about it too much in the mainstream because it doesn't really make a whole lot of money. So, we're the same energy as animals. If we cause suffering to animals, we're causing suffering to ourselves on some level. Then the universe speaks in terms of vibration and energy exchange. So if I learned that if I was causing harm to other beings through my action, I'm going to be receiving harm in some other form. I'm going to be receiving suffering in some other form. So right when I really realized that and grasped that, I didn't want any more part of that. So I started my journey. The first year I was vegetarian, and I slowly started converting to veganism. I just wanted to get my head out of that water as quick as possible, especially after plant medicine showed me that. And I want to be feeling good, I want to be feeling free, I want to be creating my own reality, I want to be less of a victim, less of a prisoner. So quickly I realized the importance of that. I don't want to be causing suffering. A lot of time people really dodge this topic when they ask me, how did you get over your harsh addictions, Louis? How did you turn around your bad habits? How did you come to health and peace finally? And I say veganism is like the number 1 way along with meditation, but right away they kind of want to ignore that and find an easier way. And I understand there's a lot of culture indoctrination into how we eat, and there's a lot of peer pressure, comfort zones associated with how we eat. Our mind is connected directly to our gut, so a lot of our cravings, especially meat, dairy, sugars and salts and creamy stuff, are so addicting that they could just get into your way of rational thinking. Sad but true. If you can even informationally tell everybody that this is the right healthy way, their gut-brain dynamic is still pulling them in the way of meat and dairy. So those aren't cravings. Meat and dairy is actually very addicting, and junk food is very addicting. So we have to first, I learned along my journey, I have to treat it like my other addictions. It's an addiction, and it's totally true. Your gut bacteria, your insulin sensitivity levels, your insulin levels, they're very much like a habit and an addict. They want what you've been feeding it, and they want more of that, and they're very pattern-oriented. So certain things are more addicting, and if your patterns are full of more heavy addicting things like meat, dairy, sugars, and cheap salts, that's what you're going to be craving. So you may have to do some fasts or some cleanses. That's what I did. I did a lot of water fasting and a lot of intermittent fasting and cleanses, gut cleanses in the beginning. of my health and fitness journey so that I could stop craving that stuff that wasn't serving me anymore and repattern those bad habits. Because eventually your taste buds will realign into what's actually healthy for you, but you have to give it a chance, and you have to speak to your cravings too, and say, actually, it may taste good in the short term, but it's building on this again, but it's not good for me in the long run. And if you tell yourself that enough as you're eating your healthier foods, eventually your feelings about it will shift, your beliefs and your attitude will shift about it. It happened to me. I don't crave meat anymore. It disgusts me. I don't crave dairy anymore. It makes me think of suffering. It makes me think of not being healthy, and not being free, and not being light in my body and my energy. I don't want any part of that anymore, even though it was good for the short term back in the days. I promise you, you can eventually distance yourself from your old habits and your belief systems and your cravings. It just takes time and practice. Those cravings were cultivated by your old habits, so realize they can go away, and once you cultivate new habits, your cravings and taste buds will align with that. I promise you. Ask anybody that's been on this journey for a long time now. It works. So, moving right along, number 4, the law of attraction, the law of exchange. You guys may or may not have heard about these concepts from other self-help gurus, even money makers, from spiritual gurus, and everything in between nowadays. Law of attraction is sometimes people just making books about it, trying to monetize it, and talk about the fluffy aspects of the law of attraction. Because what the law of attraction is, let me give you a little bit of background first. There's a lot of subjective truths and beliefs in the universe, and relative beliefs and subjective truths, like, hey, to me pain means this, and to that person maybe pain means something else depending on their own individual experiences. But there's some universal laws like gravity. You can't deny it. It binds the universe together. It binds the third dimension together, at least on Earth. The law of attraction and the laws of exchange, the laws of correspondence, whatever you want to call them, are also laws that bind the universe together, not even on the third dimensional plane, but lower, higher, and beyond. It basically, what the law of attraction is, it ties directly into karma, and it's not a punishment system from the universe. And when I say the universe, I mean all energy. I mean the source of all energy, like I talked about earlier. The source of all oneness. Karma and the law of attraction works on mirroring and correspondence. It mirrors out in your reality in forms of people, messages, circumstances, and triggers, emotional triggers. The energy that we're putting out is what we get back. A lot of people don't like this concept because it, eventually, or almost immediately, puts us into self-responsibility mode, because a lot of times we're pointing the finger at where our circumstances are this way in our life. Because, I had a hard childhood, or because, I lost my job and I'm having, we're in a depressing time economically on the planet, environmentally. So that's why I feel bad. That's going into what I'm going to talk about at the end of this, is victimhood mindset. And that can be very healed. This is a very incremental tool. Spiritual teachers have talked about this around the planet thousands of years, about self-responsibility and creating your own reality through the law of attraction. So the universe doesn't really interpret things when it comes to the law of attraction in analytical thinking like humans do. Like these situations, these scenarios, this setting, this time, this place, all these individual variables. No. The universe speaks in terms of emotional and intentional vibration that you put out. So if you're putting out a bunch of anger to somebody, even if you believe that's valid, to your mom was so mean to you and your kid or whatever else, you're putting out that anger at them, you're yelling at them, that felt so right and valid. Again, it's a short-term feeling, not a good long-term one that will help you feel good. But if you reassess it, you'll see that anger might just keep coming back to you in your life. And what that is the law of mirroring and the law of attraction in effect. If we're putting out anger, we're not going to get back all these circumstances and unique anger to my mom and this and that I put out. It's going to be anger in another form that's also valid. So the law of mirroring, we have to realize that if we're coming through patterns is a good thing to pay attention to when we want to make transformational habits in our life, transformational changes in our life, or move from point A to B from being stuck. Notice the patterns. Notice the emotional patterns and the mental patterns that tie into the emotional patterns. You have a pattern with triggers in accordance to hierarchy, like male hierarchy or female hierarchy. Is there some issues that you had along your childhood with your mom or your dad, and does that ripple out into how you treat your boss or your bosses or your co-workers? So notice those patterns, and then it's time to ask ourselves, where can we make a mental shift, an emotional shift to help that pattern stop? Because anger, pain, fear, when digging deeper into the law of attraction, there's certain energies and frequencies of emotions that kind of keep us. when we're trying to attract our dreams from attracting our dreams. We say we want to attract a freedom feeling and $1 million or whatever. The universe says it doesn't mirror back with the law of attraction that house and all that money and whatever you're trying to attract. No, it mirrors back to you the kind of signatures and energy frequencies that you need to master first before attaining that sense of freedom. So if you have a lot of anger in your relationships or something, that could be actually keeping you from manifesting your dreams. But we're discounting these situations as invalid, and I'm just trying to run and deny these feelings and escape from them, and that's dangerous. That's the addictive mindset. I know it. I've been there before. But really, the universe is calling us to pay attention to these moments that we're trying to run from. And we've got to master them. What plant medicine taught me is that all these times that, most of the time, including myself in the past, addicts are just, or whether just addicts from extreme addiction or just junk food or scrolling through your phone, we're trying to avoid uncomfortable feelings in our life. But these uncomfortable feelings are very necessary teachers in our life to help us bring our goals into reality. We need to pause. How can I be a better, responsible creator of my reality by assessing this angry feeling, this uncomfortable feeling as something that I created too, and something that I can also shift by a different point of view. Maybe my parents didn't know any better. They didn't come to this earth with a how-to manual. That's powerful, right? That's looking at them more like a toddler who didn't know any better. And when you do that, it's powerful. It makes you want to forgive and forget a little bit sometimes. At least if you really want to dissect this and not run from this. Because plant medicine works so powerfully because it helps you dive and dissect into these feelings and help you feel through them, because they don't disappear unless we feel it first and we come to acceptance of it. Very powerful. I'm going to talk about that, on the next one, acceptance and gratitude, because we have to accept these feelings first to transform from them and to move into our manifestations. First, we have to accept all these uncomfortable feelings we've been denying, and then question them. How can we bring a higher perspective into them that will help me create my reality so they can move on? Because some patterns will keep coming back, and it may test you again, anger about hierarchy or whatever, but you have to practice the higher perspective. And thanks to things like meditation, as you're practicing these perspectives, you won't just forget about them. You'll have it on your meditation card, on your affirmation card. I'm going to be more forgiving with my family, or I'm going to be more forgiving with my boss, or whatever. And that way, when you're going throughout your day-to-day life, you'll be able to practice that perspective better and better. Because the more you practice things, realizations, with physical action and communication in your reality, the quicker things will manifest away, and new things will manifest into your reality that you want. It takes practice. You can't just have a spiritual experience or a realization and just think that everything is going to be fixed and healed in our lives right away. We've got to practice these new messages, mentalities, and belief systems with action, with new communication in our life. That's the final signature of application that says to the universe, I'm ready for something new. It means you have to act in alignment with it, speak in alignment with it, do it, not just think it and know it. You've got to practice now. You want to have a more evolved perspective about hierarchy or your parents or whatever, then that means you have to start treating them differently and treating your boss more with an understanding perspective, that they're not just being super controlling with you, yada yada yada. They're doing what they know best and all that they know how to do, and that's okay. So sometimes just shifting the perspective, sometimes we have to shift with action too. If we're sometimes having big realizations in our life, it means taking a step into a new direction. It means changing our job, changing those things that don't serve us anymore. But it takes action on a lot of different levels, I guess is what I'm coming down to say. But first things first, takes acceptance and gratitude, like I said. Acceptance for what already is, acceptance for the feelings you're already experiencing, the pain, the sadness, whatever. You have to accept it and realize it's the truth. And then be grateful too for everything that we already have too. Because gratitude is another signal that is responded by means of the law of attraction back at us. If we're grateful for what is now, we'll be grateful. It's a signal. Like attracts like. We put out gratitude, we're going to attract more things to be grateful for. So be grateful for what is now, and you're going to be a lot more likely to attract your new dreams now. And that's something that you'll be grateful for. So like signal. So start now. We can't be in a lack mindset and a mindset as if everything in here is wrong and that what I'm experiencing now is invalid. No, again, that's coming down to a belief that what these pain, this discomfort, all that is not supposed to be here. So that's an acceptance issue too. We have to accept that that's uncomfortable situations are here and circumstances are to teach me something and I need to pay attention to something. So it does take that self-responsibility. And going into number 6, all of this ties in as well. Oneness. Oneness is a truth of the universe. We live in the third dimension. It's all about separation. It's all about me versus you, us versus them, black versus white, rich versus poor, red versus blue, spiritual versus religion, science, atheism versus religion, whatever have you. So that belief right there causes a lot of suffering and resistance, and it can perpetuate our bad habits, our bad circumstances, or bad, right? Basically, life situations we're trying to transform from in the first place. Basically, oneness and understanding oneness is one of the tools that will help you transform your life, because it helps you take a shift in how you treat your relationships and how you treat your friendships and how you treat your situations in life. It's that whole do unto others as you would have done to you rhetoric that's been put out. It's been put out in the Bible. It's been put out in a lot of different texts, spiritual texts and religious texts throughout different parts of the globe, throughout different periods of time. It will really help you see things from their perspective more, not just realize that you're a victim to, again, that's going to be also the last, number 7, little sneak peek, but we can't be a victim constantly to our childhood, a victim to these circumstances. It makes a resistance, again, to what already is. We have to see things from a mutual perspective with people in our reality, with places in our reality, with animals in reality. If you want to talk about the diet, number 3 there. Oneness is a spiritual toolkit, I like to call it. It's a toolkit that you can have in your pocket that will help you treat your relationships better, that will help you see things eye to eye better, with triggers that are helping you, that are actually keeping you from reaching your goals and transforming your life in the first place. Oneness is a filter that you can put on your glasses that will help you be a better steward to the planet, steward to your relationships. It will help you act better. Action, again, is the key solidifier with the law of attraction to help you bring your dreams into reality and transform your life today. It takes action, not just a belief, a thought, a knowing or a wanting or a desire. It takes action and seeing things through the eyes of oneness. How can this benefit you and me at the same time? Will help bring these dreams into reality. I promise. I've experimented it, I've tried it, I held on to the anger, I held on to the angst, I held on to the separation perspectives up until 5 years ago, and it didn't serve me anymore. So it's a choice. I'm not forcing my beliefs down anybody's throat, but you can try this for yourself, because life is all about an experimentation, my friends and family. And you can treat things however you want. You can remain a victim if you want. You can be angry and be in a division mindset all you want, but it's not going to feel good, I promise you. And going back to being a creator in reality and a creator how we feel, not a victim to all these circumstances as to the reason of why we feel this way in the first place, we have to realize that we signed up for this on some level. We're co-creators in this on some level. We're not just a victim. And, deep down the rabbit hole, when I was really depressed and I was suicidal and I was deep in my addictions, I said, I didn't even choose to come to this earth. We did, actually. If you want to peel the layers enough, we chose to forget that aspect in the higher dimensional planes before we incarnated onto earth. Because through duality, through forgetting, you experience hot, you experience pain when you're a child so that you can understand love. You experience hot so that you can understand what cold really means. I let go of my past and all the pain that I went through and trauma that I went through from my childhood, because honestly there's a higher perspective even. It made me stronger. It made me who I am today. It made me be able to let go of negativity. It made me be able to let go of situations that doesn't serve my today anymore. It helped me be a stronger person. So that's a powerful perspective. That's a big shift. I could have remained a victim right there. This is number 7 right here. We're moving on, shifting from the victimhood mindset to a now creator mindset. It's, as you can see, all of these steps and tools that I've listed out from 1 through 7 help you. They all interconnect with each other and they all tie into each other. And that number 7, it builds on the law of attraction. It builds on the oneness. It builds on the diet. It's being a creator now instead of a victim. It's not saying, oh, woe is me, the world is in a shitty state right now. I got treated like this, so I'm going to choose to harm my body and distract. That's pretty convoluted thinking. Self-love is power. We can't just, that's, one negative belief that I held on to that perpetuated my bad habits is, I'm not hurting anybody else, I'm just hurting myself. Actually, again, that's going back into victimhood mindset that we didn't choose to come to this life, that our life isn't precious, we're not placing value on it. It's another key trick right there too. You got to place value on life. You have to prioritize it. You have to prioritize your happiness now. You have to shift it. And that takes a lot of self-responsibility from stepping out of the victimhood mindset. Again, it's a choice. You can treat life however you want, but it feels better. I promise, I've tried it. I was molested when I was a child, but guess what? I could have, and that sounds pretty awful, right? And I could have let that sadness carry me into the grave, and I did. And it almost did, actually. I was just depressed, I was sad, I blamed my anger, my sadness on my past, and it didn't serve me anymore. Fuck that, man. I feel better saying that even though all that happened to me, I could still choose what kind of foods I put in my body today. I could still choose to be a helper and a healer on this planet and help people overcome their addictions and their bad habits, instead of bitching and moaning about it and taking it to the grave. It's called transmutation, churning poop into gold. You can do that. You can turn a crappy situation and become a superhero, become a superstar by your perspective, by how you want to look at it. And it's totally true. It feels a lot better to be a creator of we're co-creators. If everything is one on some level and all these other humans in life, their individual perspectives are valid and they are other, but on a deeper dimensional level, 4th, 5th, and 6th and beyond, we are one and we are connected to them. But we have to start treating other as it is a part of a self on some level. We have to start treating others' point of view as valid, just like, again, doing unto other people how we want to be treated. We have to treat other people's perspectives as valid and their feelings as valid if we want others to treat us that way as well. So seeing, again, through things as the eyes of oneness will help you bring all of your dreams into your manifestation and transform your life today. You have to see things through the eyes of oneness. You have to step out of the victimhood mindset. You have to nourish your mind with meditation, your body with excellent plant-based, energy-filled foods. You've got to just treat life for what it is. It's sacred, it's a blessing, it's something that we should be grateful for to be alive today, because taking our life, I almost wanted to take my life, and I got taken down through dreams and visions with and without plant medicine that it's a slippery slope. You can't self-harm, you can't harm the planet, you can't harm yourself, you can't harm life without receiving harm back in return. And as much as we want to deny it, karma and the law of mirroring, the law of attraction is a reality. So let's be better creators of reality. Let's be better stewards of this earth. Let's be better helpers to each other and to animals. And let's realize that all of this is very key and pivotal when it comes to wanting to make transformations in our life and bring our dreams into manifestation today. Very important stuff. Thank you all very much for being here with me today. Peace and love. Namaste. Have a great week.